Hi. I have been planning to upgrade my SATA SSD to NVMe for a while due to insufficient disk space of 250 GB of Samsung Evo 750. So I bought Sabrent Rocket Q4, 1 TB NVMe SSD. Please be aware that my mainboard Asus Z490 Prime is a 3rd generation mainboard but Sabrent Rocket is a 4th generation SSD, so speed of Sabrent will be limited by mainboard. I didn't bought a heatsink because mainboard will not push the limits of Q4 and I hope it will be stay in safe thermal operating area. It comes in a very small and quality package. Box is metal and can provide enough protection to Q4. Inside the box there are Q4, a protection layer to SSD and a manual. Before installing new SSD, I will test Evo speed to compare with Q4 after installation. There are 2 slots on Asus Z490 Prime mainboard. One is located between PCIe 16 slot and CPU and the other is under PCIe slots. Upper slot seems too close the components relevant to thermal dissipation. Anyway, I will test Q4 on both slots. It is nearly impossible to install an NVMe to upper slot without uninstalling graphics card. After installing NVMe you have to set up BIOS. You have to enable CSM, Intel Rapid Technology, Hyper M.216 choices. This setup may be different dependent to your BIOS. After setting BIOS, you have to run disk management in Windows to introduce new component, to allocate and divide if needed. After seeing new SSD under my computer tab, you can transfer your system to new SSD by using Acronis True Image software. When done, set BIOS boot priority to new SSD. Now let's force Q4 to check speed and maximum temperature at upper slot by Crystal Disk Mark software. I will repeat test twice and increase test count to 9 to see maximum temperature. I will repeat this test by moving Q4 to below slot of mainboard. When I compare speeds and maximum temperatures at each slots of Q4, I didn't expect Q4 at upper slot will be cooler than below slot due to its cramped position between CPU and graphics card. When PC is idle or in normal use there is nearly 3 centigrade difference in favor of upper slot, but when graphics card fans start to spin, heat became equal on Q4 at each slots. So it will not be consistent to say upper or lower slot is cooler than the other. There are many factors such as case fan positions, CPU fan position and size or RPM of graphics card fan during test. Maximum temperature of Q4 is 69 during torture test at lower slot and 3 centigrade cooler at upper slot. But at least I can say that Q4 stays in temperature limits without heatsink at both slots. But may exceed when installed on a 4th generation mainboard. And it seems upper slot is slightly faster than below slot. That's because upper slot has a reserved PCIe lane at CPU, but below slot communicates via PCIe chipset. Let's add Evo Crystal Disk Mark results. Q4 runs nearly 2 to 6 times faster than Evo according to Crystal Disk Mark at different tests. Evo seems faster at random 4K read and write. Evo Rapid Mode uses RAM as cache to reach such speeds. When I compare Windows startup and game load time of Evo and Q4, I see 10 to 20% below load times with Q4. As a result, except having 750 GB of more space, Q4 a 4th generation NVMe SSD on 3rd generation mainboard can achieve nearly 10% much speed than a Evo 750 SATA SSD. Generally upper slot is faster than below slot. NVMe heat at each slot is directly related with your PC ventilation, positions and direction of fans and positions of components. Q4 can work without a heatsink on 3rd generation motherboard. Thanks for watching.